Welcome back to the channel for another College TF review. Today we'll be taking a look at Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, Speeder Bike, and Scout Trooper from Return of the Jedi. This is an awesome new set from Hasbro, and they're available in stores and on Hasbro Pulse right now, so definitely be sure to check that out. As always, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and keeps these reviews coming. So to start, let's take a look at the packaging. You can see it's another deluxe box set here. Some cool, very nice pictures that they took of the speeder bike. You can see the features on the back there, and then some other shots, more shots, lots of writing. That's a fun shot. I'm just chilling out on the bike, nothing on the bottom. And then for just a sense of how it comes packaged, so you do of course get your obligatory vintage style instructions for how to seat your Scout Trooper on his bike, and then all of the features of the bike as well, which we'll of course go over, some writing, and then of course here's how he comes packaged. So the speeder bike is inside of this casing there. It's like a wax paper material, and then of course you have the card back in there. Looks pretty good. It is unpunched for those of you who are carded collectors. Pretty cool shot there from the movie. There you go. That is that for packaging. And let's take a look at the speeder bike and Scout Trooper himself. So as you can see, I have them on the stand right now, which I actually think the stand's pretty ingenious, though I do have one problem with it. So let's get the wax paper out of the way. All right. So we'll get to the stand last. Let's just start by looking at the bike itself with the Scout Trooper on it. It's very easy to seat him on the bike. It's a pretty old mold at this point of the Scout Trooper, but still does its purpose. As you can see, lots of nice weathering on the bike, lots of nice detail, even on the bottom. Some cool weathering of the paint, some paint chippage, and maybe some scoring all across the bike. Looks really great. So just pull the Scout Trooper off. You can get a better look at him. So this mold has, as I said previously, been reused. This one is fairly dated at this point, so his articulation is not as good as the likes of some of the newer vintage collection figures, but still does the trick for, you know, a guy you'll probably just leave on a speeder bike when posing him. So, and it makes him very easy to pose on the speeder bike, which is definitely good for playability and posability. But very nice sculpt, very nice helmet there, nice paint all throughout, very vibrant white. You can see he does come with blaster, and it's pretty hard to secure this in the holster. It does sometimes, of course now it's staying in, but often when you're posing him, it's pretty easy to knock it out. And so he does hold it in his right hand pretty easily. Just slide it in. There you go. You have him with his gun. Pretty cool. And this hand also does have a trigger finger for a standard blaster. This one more just has two fingers that kind of protrude out to hold this particular blaster, but you could also give him a standard Stormtrooper blaster in the other hand if you wanted to. So very nice. Tuck that back in. In terms of articulation, he does have the double ball joint at the head, so you can get that forward back movement and lots of side to side, full range of motion that you could want. Now, again, older figure, so the hinges do show at the shoulder there, but you do get very good range of motion upwards, of course, full 360 around. Then you do have a rotation at the elbow, and it does get a little unnaturally the other direction, much past 180, and then it does do about to 90, and then you just get a swivel here at about the wrist. No kind of other articulation out of the hand, and then you do get a nice ball joint here at the torso, so that's good. No kind of waist swivel or anything, and that is your standard style hinge joints out of the hips, so you get out and you can get forward, just sufficient for posing him on the bike. Of course, actual ball joints would certainly make it easier. Then you do get a little past 90 out of the knees. I wish these actually bent a little bit further, so you could actually have them sitting down all the way on the bike, which is kind of hard to do. Then you do have several points of rotation here in the leg. So you have rotation here at just above the knee, and then rotation at the shin, which is kind of interesting. I think that's probably just for the dual molding purposes. Then you do have ankle tilt, and you do get up and down as well. So decently articulated, definitely, but not quite up to par with some of our more modern figures. And as you can see, his crotch there is a little wide, just so that he can seat on the bike. And for a quick comparison with another figure, just so you have a sense of these guys, get them him standing up. He likes to ride, not stand, you know. All right. Here is Stormtrooper, just so you can see, you know, you can see especially in the crotch region there, he's definitely a bit wider, just so that he sits on the bike well, but you could probably pose a number of different figures on the bike without any problem. So that is that comparison. You can see he actually is, because of his helmet, a little bit taller than a standard Stormtrooper, so. And the white is also slightly different, just being different kind of plastic because it's an older figure. And there, you can see the gun just pops out really easily. He falls over. Man, it's bouncing all over the place. All right, put him off to the side. Take a look at the bike itself in more detail. You can see the top section there. You do have a nicely detailed seat, some buttons. Very nice, and this is kind of like a slightly flexible plastic, so it makes it easy to pose him. Same thing with the legs there, and a lot of the ship is a fairly flexible plastic, but it's not brittle, which it doesn't feel like it's gonna break or bend easily either. So on the back, you do have the flaps that open when they're flying around. You can see the nice engine detail in there. Get that posed nicely, just that with them open a little bit. And then this bag does come off, but there we go. You can see there's just some pegs there on the underside, and you can keep it off if you want. And here is the bag itself. Looks pretty nice. Tap it back on, snaps nice and easy. And then you can also open up the hood there, revealing some engine detail. And it's even detailed on the underside of the hood, which is pretty nice. Cool texturing. And that's about it in terms of functionality of the bike, but it's definitely sufficient. It's definitely nice and playable and durable, and certainly looks fantastic. The gun on the bottom and everything looks just like we see in the movie. And then in terms of the stand, this is pretty clever. You do have 3 different ball joints, so you can either have it at its lowest point, put the bike there, or very high, or medium height. So pretty clever design, and there is just kind of a circular opening on the bottom into which these joints are supposed to peg. Now on mine, it's, you know, they don't really sit in there very snug, and I don't really want to apply much more pressure, so it does just kind of rest, and you just enough friction that it holds without too much difficulty, but it is a little bit annoying in terms of posing, as if you move it, it does tend to just fall off, especially when you have the Biker Scout on there. But overall, this is a fantastic set. Highly recommend it. It is a bit on the pricier side, I will say, for what you're getting, but it is pretty awesome. And certainly if you can get it on sale, it's definitely a must grab. And I mean, even if you can't get it on sale, I think it's still a worthy addition to your collection. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next Vintage Collection review, as there's many more to come as well. If you're a Transformers fan, all of that's coming as well. So until the next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.